Once again, Autosport Radio was doing a Zoom interview from the Grand King Race Shops in Speedway, in Indianapolis, actually. So when the world opens up and you race fans have never been to the race shop, you need to come here and check it out. It's at 8155 Crawfordsville Road. You got to come by. It's a working museum. You'll be amazed at what you'll see here. This program is being brought to you, as always, by Honda and Honda HPD, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the NTT IndyCar Series, SVRA, and McGilvery's and Speedway. Founded in 1993 to spearhead Honda's entry into IndyCar racing, Honda Performance Development has overseen successful racing efforts at all levels of the sport, from karting and quarter midget to IndyCar and prototype sports cars. HPD offers race engines and competition products for professional, amateur, and entry-level racers. For more information about HPD and the company's racing products line, please visit hpd.honda.com. And I want to thank, as always, our people at Speedway Cable for editing the program. I want to thank Brian and Bill for taking care of that to help make the program look good. Do you need a dentist? I got the best. Everybody loves to go see a dentist. I got the best one. You will love to go see it. It's the Indy Dental Group. Indy 500 veteran Jack Miller and his wife, Dr. Liz Lewis, have one of the highest rated, if not the highest rated practice in the state. Give them a call, make an appointment. You'll be glad you did. A lot of the people that listen to this have gone and said, wow, you're right. Give them a call. Number is 317-846-6125. And for those of you who have computer problems like I seem to have been born with, our new computer guy is A+ Affordable Computer Doctor, and he is a doctor. He makes house calls. His name is Steve Freeze. It's something that it's a guy you need to talk to. He can handle almost anything, or probably anything, actually. Give him a call. Talk to him about it. They'll work it out for you. Number 317-328-0766. If you ever wondered why these guys and gals love driving Indy cars and open wheel cars, well, why not find out for yourself? Take a ride into Indy Racing Experience 2-seater. You can go to indyracingexperience.com and look for a date that'll work for you. And in the promo box, put DK1, you get a 50% discount, or you can call Shonda at the office. Her number is 317-243-7171. Is it time for more, renew your insurance for your home, your car, or your commercial property? Do what many of us have done. Call VP Insurance. They're located at 5004 West 16th Street in Speedway. Mike Pardee will help you. You'll find you get, as I just found when I changed insurance companies for my car, get better coverage for less money. Give them a call. Talk to them. Number is 317-248-0070. That's VP Insurance in Speedway. You have an urge to have a vintage car and go race it, or you have one, you need it restored, you can do both right here at the Grand King Race Shops. Give them a call. Tell them what you got or what you're looking for, and they can help you out. You need an engine rebuilt, it can help you with that as well. The number is 317-820-3595. In fact, you can see over my shoulder and behind me 2 cars they have for sale. One is the Larry Rice car behind me, and alongside me is the Ozzie Olsenite Eagle driven by Bobby Unser. My guest today is a gentleman who has come all the way from Newport Richey, Florida. He's gotten here just in time to make it. He is a name that you will be recognizing and hearing a lot of as we go along. In fact, he in just a matter of a couple of days managed to get entered into this past Saturday's race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he qualified and he ran the race and done well. But he's been in racing a long time. We're going to find out what's new and exciting, what he has to do. Please welcome Mr. R.C. Enerson.
Thanks,
R.C.,
Don.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Well, let's start off by telling me, how did you get started in racing in the first place? What got your attention to say, hey, this is cool?
Well, I think it goes further back to before I was born. My parents grew up in Indianapolis, so they've been around the 500 for a long time. And I always was a fan of the Hot Wheels cars when I was younger, like 3 and 4 years old. And around 5 years old, my mom convinced my dad, hey, he likes driving so much, why don't you get him a go-kart? And I guess it started more off as a hobby, something to go do on the weekends with my dad. And then it really turned a corner when I was about 8 or 9 years old, when we started going competitively, like Rotex Grand Nationals and traveling the country for it. And then it to cars I went around when I was 12 to 13 years old.
it's gotten to the point your sister works for the Road to Indy program, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does or she works with Ken at hospitality and does all that stuff with him. She's been doing it for like 5 years now or something like that.
She's a whole family. Is there anything you talk about besides racing?
I don't think so. That's pretty much all I know. That's everything that goes around up here is all it's all a track.
So you've been winning since you started. I mean, even in the early days at the Skip Barber School, and from there on, you've won everywhere you've been.
Yeah, I think we've done pretty well. It took a bit to get used to the cars, and then the real struggle was getting into a car with downforce. I spent 3 years at US F2000. That was a major learning curve for me. It took till the third year before we were actually winning races and consistently just on the podium in the front row and stuff like that.
Uh, was your goal when you first started in this, did you ever have an inkling that you could eventually end up running in the Indianapolis 500?
That was always the goal. I never really ever had my sights set on Formula One or IMSA really that much. Everything was always IndyCar, and I mean, I was going to the 500 since I was 3 years old until even still, I don't think I've missed one. And so it's been kind of a lifelong dream, I'd say. But it's all about putting the pieces falling together in the right spot.
Of course, for you to say a lifelong is just a click on my clock. You're what, I believe 24 now?
Just turned 23.
Just turned 23. I got shoes that are that old and I wear them. So your dad had a very thriving business, which he sold and has put together the Lucas Oil Driving School. Tell me about that, how that started, what the idea was, and where is it today?
Man, the original idea for it was based off of, you look at the Indy 500 field right now, or any of the IndyCar drivers, or even most of the IMSA guys, to put the list of how many of them went through a driving school, like Skip Barber or something like that, was you couldn't count how many big names were on that thing. And after they went away, there was a huge part of it missing that I learned a ton from, and so did a lot of the other Indy 500 drivers. So that's how we got into this whole idea to start a race school with updated cars, because, I mean, you don't really have to learn to shift anymore. It's all paddle shifter stuff all the way down to the lowest level of road to Indy open wheel racing. So we up newer cars, updated cars, ready to race, and kind of almost like a Formula Ford, but a little more forgiving.
Where do you guys hold events? I know you have championships and national championships. You have events where companies can rent the cars. Where all do you go across the country? I know you don't just stay in Florida.
Yeah, I'd say about 50% of our events, or maybe in the high 30s, are in Florida because it's most of the winter time, and even in the mid spring, it's nice and warm here. It's not you're not freezing, but we go all over the country. Like our race schedule, if you look it up on lucasraceschool.com, we're all up and down the eastern side right now. We just got done in February before the whole shutdown deal. We spent 2.5 weeks in Laguna, and then we also went to a Thermal Club and did an event with them. So we go all over the place. It's just finding the right date for it.
How many cars do you have?
We have 20, and then we have a show car as well. So we have a pretty sizable fleet. We're looking to get a bigger fleet, but we got to sell more seats for that too.
When somebody comes in and says, yeah, this sounds like a lot of fun, do you have classes showing them, teaching them what they have to know, so when they get in the car, they don't go, what is this?
Well, yeah, even on our website, we have a chat room where my sister runs that as well, the chat room, and then they can call in. And if they have any questions, we're right there to answer it all. But you don't really get an actual classroom. It's only done at the track. So you go from the car to the classroom to learn something else about a drill or something you will be learning, and then go out in the car and execute it for a session, go back to the classroom. That's kind of how the basic 2-day works. And then you can move into a advanced 2-day where it's like this consistent 30 minutes of lapping with instructors all around the track, giving you feedback.
Who all is driving instructors besides obviously yourself?
Well, I mean, we kind of have a whole mess of us as far as race car drivers that are still like currently racing. I mean, Tyler Cook with the Continental Challenge, he instructs. Tristan Nunez, Pippa Mann does some instructing with us. Gerardo Bonilla, he basically runs the instructor side of things for us. And then a person that was at my 3-day school, Phil Lombardi, he's been around racing and instructing for, God, longer than I've been alive.
if somebody wanted to look into it and call you and talk to you about it or find out where it's going to be convenient, how do they get a hold of you or where do they look for you?
Yeah, so on our website, they have our contact phone number, and then we obviously have our extensions. But the base phone call usually will go to my sister or Gerardo to get in contact. But the website has every date we have so far as when the schools are or when the races are or when the advanceds are. So they can know where we're at, and they can call in and let us know that you can pay over the phone or you can buy it online. It's very lenient. You can call in, and we'll give you all the information you need.
All right, two things. Your website address is?
LucasRaceSchool.com.
And your phone number if somebody doesn't have a computer handy or their phone doesn't work?
I would have to look that up. I don't have that off the top of my head.
All right, let's get
the main page of the website. So
let's get into racing. I had mentioned that you have been speaking with a group that is attempting very seriously and coming close to putting a race team together. And you wanted to get into the race this Saturday at the Speedway. And at the last minute, they allowed you in, and against 10 guys to get into the final 4 places, you made it.
Yeah. I can't tell you how much practice I did for that. I must have did over 1,000 qualifying runs. Like it just did. And not only that, but you go out and you only get one shot. They gave us 2 laps. So it's not like you can do multiple runs to see if you can get faster. It was pretty nerve-wracking.
How close? Now you're sitting in your house or your basement or you're out in your patio or somewhere running the simulator. How close is that to being in a car?
Well, I'd say the biggest struggle with it, I think Stephen Wilson said it perfectly. He's like, you have nerves when you're in the real car, but all the adrenaline or fear or any bit of that makes the nervousness go away. And on the simulator, you're just nervous. There is no crazy adrenaline rush or anything like that. So it's like I got off the thing and my hands were shaking, and I'm just praying that whoever comes across the line wasn't quicker. And yeah, I've never been so nervous over a video game.
And I was explaining to somebody, in fact, I had my wife watch Saturday, and she heard me talk about it, and she said, I want to watch this thing. And I said, okay. So she came in and watched, and it started the race, and from the camera work that they have, she said, are you sure this isn't real? I said, yeah, I'm quite sure it is.
Oh, it is super realistic.
The thing that impressed me more than anything is the shadows. When they have the in-car shots, the shadows coming across the cockpit. How in the world do you do that? But these guys...
It's an advanced, there's nothing better than iRacing as far as simulator. But the toughest part about a simulator for us racers, like you see a lot of people struggle with it, is because you don't get the feeling from your butt, from your back, from your body with the G-forces. All you're getting the feedback from is the pedals and the wheel. So you have very limited stuff to work with.
Yeah, and we're looking at it and seeing all kinds of things. You're looking at a screen that shows you, I assume, looking out in front of your car.
Yeah, it's in the cockpit view, so you're nice and low in the thing as well.
And the other thing that impressed me and caught her attention, you could see the people behind you in the mirrors.
Yeah, you can turn the mirrors off and on. You can put on a big rear view mirror, which is most people do at the top of your screen. But it's super realistic, and I have a lot of fun with it. I mean, I don't have a crazy setup or anything like that, but I have a lot of fun doing that stuff, especially when you get into like the league races where you get like the actual sim racing guys that have been doing this a long time. It's tough to keep up.
Yeah, and I understand that you've won a number of those recently, and you ran the road course race, and if I'm not mistaken, you won that one.
Yeah, that was tough because they run full-length races. So it wasn't like, the NBC one was 70 laps. They have an Indy 500 coming up, which is going to be the full 200 laps. The GP one was a full 85 laps with like 3 or 4 pit stops. So it was a lot.
How much does that help you as a driver when you do this a lot, which I know you do, and you get into a car? What translates other than the fact you're a little more familiar with a track you haven't been to, maybe?
Yeah, I think at kind of the level that a lot of these guys, especially the IndyCar drivers, and even in the road to Indy stuff, you're at a certain level to where the thing you get the most out of the simulator is just to learn a new track. Because it does give you a little bit of a false sense of grip because you're not getting the feeling from your body. It's only coming from the steering wheel. And you could turn the force feedback up and down on the wheel to make it stronger, lighter. So you're really not getting the full feeling. I'd say it's more for fun and to stay a little bit active. and to learn a track. But besides that, you can't really pull too much off of it.
When you drive, you do like Simon Pagino does and have a driver suit on?
Absolutely not. I'd be sweating like crazy. No,
Um,
I have to put a portable air conditioner right next to me because everything that's running in there is just so hot that
Yeah.
I got to get everything going.
hmm. Now, this past Saturday, when you ran the race at the Speedway, you had backing by Haggerty Insurance. They were very excited about what you did. And it seems as though things are progressing for a new team to be put together. How did you hook up with them? And apparently they are very sold on having you as their driver once they get onto real racing and real racetracks.
Yeah, I guess I started talking with them right around PRI, I think it was. So what's PRI? December, end of
Yeah,
December.
yeah.
And that's where we got things talking. But to have Haggerty on board for that was awesome because we hope that translates into something on the real race car. But right now, still for working on things. But it was good to have them. I wish I could have finished better. We were running so good, and I got tapped going into turn one on the by somebody. I don't even know who actually was behind me. But I got tapped from behind, got a big loose. But when I did my pit stop, it said I had 15 seconds of required repair. So I went a lap down, and it was just trying not to crash. But P20 out of 33, and having that issue, I was all right with it. It's a lot of people didn't even get to finish. So
Yeah, that's true. And coming out of turn 4, heading for the finish line actually, there was a heck of a wreck. And the thing that's kind of interesting about it, when they have a wreck on sim racing, they have wrecks. Cars get airborne and flip and flop and do
oh yeah,
everything.
you can get somewhere 1,000 feet and up in the air out of nowhere.
Yeah,
That's another problem with it too, with the iRacing stuff is because it's something called net code, and like you could have a car flipping in front of you and drive right through it,
right.
and it doesn't register you hit it, or it could be flipping through the air somewhere else and you're completely away from it, and it registers you getting hit and you have damage. So it's a give and take, a little bit of luck too.
Well, the thing that I noticed, the second race I watched, they showed a little bit of the pit action. And if the car, as you're coming in the pit lane, the car in front of you slows down a little bit, and you don't hit them, you just go right through it. And I looked at that, I said, aha. And I showed that to my wife. She said, oh, yeah, now I know it's simulated. I can see that. They don't
Yeah.
usually do that.
Yeah, if you're in the fast lane in the pit lane all the way against the wall, you can hit people, but the second you pull into the pit boxes, you're just driving through people.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The team that you're working with now is, they tell me it's called Top Gun Racing, and they're looking to put the whole deal together probably this month. Are you prepared? And with the school as much as going on, have you got time to drive Indy cars?
Oh, of course, that's my main objective. That's the thing I have all the time for. Yeah, I'm at the school, but like I'm at the shop right now, and I'm just helping out with keeping everything organized and clean, and helping with the phones and stuff like that. But it's the IndyCar is the main goal, and of course, yeah, the first thing we'd like to do is get into the 500 this year. So that's what's been pushing as hard as we can to get there. So they've been working tirelessly, and we've been trying to get this school back up and running as far as with this whole shutdown. But we're well on our way for that, and focused on getting an IndyCar deal done.
Well, I have a feeling that if everything goes and the green light comes on and you're ready to go, that your dad has people in place so that if they have an event on the weekend that IndyCar's running, they'll run the event. Your dad and your mom will be with you.
I'm pretty
And your
sure we
sister.
structured it around the IndyCar events. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that
Well, we try to not step over especially the ones that are televised and people want to watch. So they're not at a racetrack, even though I'd much rather be at a racetrack than watching it on TV. But like a lot of people like to watch it, so we try not to step on the either side, especially because some of our instructors are, whether they're IndyCar or IMSA or something like that. So if we have a big IMSA weekend, we don't have many instructors because they're all coaching.
uh, when you were running in the Road to Indy program, I think you won at Mid Ohio twice, if I'm not mistaken. And after the Freedom 100, you decided, and your dad, you guys decided it's time to move up, and you got a ride with Dale Coyne at Mid Ohio. And you were setting, because I was there watching it, you were set for easily a top 10 and maybe a little better, and you ran out of fuel in your very
Yeah,
first race.
that
And
was a tough one to take.
But the thing that impressed me also was the reaction you got from veteran drivers that you weren't an issue. You were a rookie, but you didn't get in the way. You didn't bother people. You didn't do anything stupid to cause a problem. I thought, to me, that really registered as good. Great.
Well, yeah, that was one of the huge parts between that I realized from racing in the Road to Indy versus racing in IndyCar. These guys raced together for years and years and years and years and years, rather than in Road to Indy. It's just that one season you're focused on. You might not be racing with half that grid ever again. So it's like there's a lot of respect between it, and so it's like you can actually go side by side through a corner. Where in the Road to Indy, it's a little more like both drivers are never going to lift and hope one comes out without any damage. So that was a tough part of that. But yeah, I think that old car with how much downforce that thing had compared to the lights car that I got out of, oh my God, it was a relief to drive that. The lights car is a bit tough. It's really tough, especially on road courses.
Well, a lot of the drivers that have moved up to IndyCar said Indy lights cars are harder to drive than an Indy car. Did you find that?
Yeah. Well, I moved into a different generation car. So I think since I got to drive this newer Aero kit last year, it is a lot closer to what the lights car is now. But yeah, when the new lights car came out, and then I got into the Indy car, it's like, wow, the grip, everything was just crazy stable. And then it was just finding the time by just pushing more and more speed. But yeah, the lights car was like, if you have any bit of understeer, you were slow. So you needed the car to be loose and dancing around, and it was a real pain in the butt to drive.
You've had what, 4 IndyCar starts, I believe?
Yeah, 4.
That enough to get the taste going that I want to get back. I want to get back.
Of course, especially after spring training and then not getting to race until Mid-Ohio. When you spend that much time out of the car, you get back in, and it does take a bit for everything to come back. That feeling you get off the brake pedal and into the corners, and your body reacclimating to taking that many G-forces. When you get back in the car for the first time after that, you get beat up pretty bad. But every time you get in it, I never want it to end.
How about, you haven't driven a car with the aero screen on it yet, have you?
I have not. I only got to drive it with the fin, the first thing they put on the fin.
Yeah. You think that will have a big effect when you get in? It'll be that much different. You go, holy smokes! Although from the drivers I've heard, not really.
Yeah, I think the only thing they said that was the strangest thing is not feeling the wind on the helmet, the pushback when you're going in a straight line and stuff like that. So that might just be a little bit to get used to, and then obviously the heat, because they are working on venting issues to make it a little more breathable. But I think it would be nice. I wish it still looked a little bit better. I think it looks a little bit like a powerboat. But no, I think it's a good thing for the series, and I know it's all about protection, and especially the drivers going this kind of speeds. You need it.
And your mom is comfortable with you being in one of these cars that'll go 225, 230 miles an hour, and she feels you're safe?
I don't think she'll say it, but yeah. No, she's a pacer, biting the nails. I think with the whole updates of the car with the aero screen and everything, it's a lot less pacing. But yeah, I think it's still a good thing for the sport, and especially for driver safety, and that's like the number one goal for a lot of people.
Did the speed of IndyCar surprise you when you got into it? Because, I mean, not that a lights car doesn't go fast, but it doesn't go quite as fast as an IndyCar. Did the speed bother you? Does it bother you at all?
I think especially for race car drivers, like the speed is like the last thing, or it's like the first thing that you get used to. It's the first thing where it's like, okay, once you do a couple laps and you feel the power and you feel the speed, it kind of that feeling of, oh, I'm going way faster than I was in a slower car. That feeling completely goes away. And then it's all about, the biggest deal is the grip change. When you add a couple 1,000 pounds more downforce, that's the thing that when you feel that on your body in a corner, that's the rough part. The speed part is you get used to it in a second.
And getting used to going at those speeds, and you look in your mirror and there's somebody right there. Doesn't bother?
Oh yeah, not at all.
What's your favorite kind of track? Do you like street and road courses, or are you an oval track guy, or don't you care? You'll run any one?
I'll run any one, and I do think I do have strengths in different areas. Like I think on road courses, because I've done more of those than anything. I've only done 4 oval races. I've done, or 5 oval races. I did 3 the first year, and then I did the Phoenix and the Freedom the second time. But I do like ovals. I did really well in lights on them. I don't think I was off the podium for the first year ones. But definitely, I think road and street courses are going to be, or have always been, one of my strengths. Especially Mid Ohio. That's my favorite track.
Yeah, obviously you got several wins there. And I've been discussing with your potential team owners that since you've done so well on road courses, there happens to be 2 of them this year, I think, at Indianapolis.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That you ought to enter them in both of those. I don't know how far
Yeah,
I'm getting with that.
I think I can only get a certain amount of races before the rookie status goes away.
Yeah, I wonder.
And if we run a full year after that, and I can keep rookie of the year or not, that's not the important part. It's it's as a rookie, every single race weekend for the first practice, you get an extra set of tires. That's why most of the first practices at road courses and stuff like that, you see a lot of rookies up front, and that's because they're getting 2 sets of tires where the veterans are getting 1 for that first practice. So it's a huge advantage, especially for a new team coming in, to have the extra set to be able to work on more things in that first practice and not have to do like a lot of the veterans have to do. They have to sit out the first half because they just don't have enough
tires. I had forgotten about that part of it, which makes sense. Now, with you having run earlier IndyCar races, that if you start now with a new team starting either this year or full-time next year, would your rookie status be gone away because you've had 5 starts?
I'm pretty sure I can get it starts within a certain time period. So my 3 races were in 2016, and then I did the race here in 2019 at Mid Ohio. So I'm at 4 starts, but the other 3 starts are so long ago. I think I have 3 more starts I can do without losing a rookie status. Obviously, if I'm a rookie at the 500 this year, then that rookie part would go away for the next year for the 500 at least. But at least the rest of the road courses, we'd still have a little bit of an advantage.
Well, I think selecting you as their driver if and when they put the team together, and I believe they will, and it should be announced in the next few weeks, which will be announced here, I'm told. I think that the choice of bringing you in is excellent. American driver, young American driver. I think you will be a good spokesperson for whomever the sponsor happen to be. Do you like doing work for sponsors, being a spokesperson for a sponsor? You like going before at the meetings and so forth and talk? Does that fit in what you like to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's if it's a part of racing and it's a part of my career, I love doing that kinds of stuff. Obviously, my favorite part is being at the racetrack and in the race car, but that is part of the job description, the job title, and I like every aspect of it. It's what I grew up with, and I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, well, being being a spokesman for a sponsor is kind of fun. Gives you something to do in between when you're other than sit at home and your dad make you work on the school cars
on the shop floor. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We look forward to seeing you in the car again. And for those who want to watch the race that go on, you said you go to speed51.com and they can watch the online racing, the sim racing.
Yeah, they've got a big community. They have every type of racing you can possibly think of. It's mostly short track oval stuff, like in the dirt stuff, sprint cars, modifieds, cup cars, truck cars, NASCAR. But they also have an open wheel deal, especially for the month of May. So it'll be fun.
Have you ever run a midget or sprint car or Silver Crown car?
Not in real life, no. Well, I would love to. But to wrap my head around the concept that you got to give more throttle in the corner to keep it from hitting the wall is kind of crazy.
It's fun. I think the guys that have done, Ed Carpenter did it for years before he got into IndyCar. He was quite good at it, actually. I think it would be fun. I had one of the IndyCar drivers, I just forgot his name, on the program one night, and I said, "What do you think about these kids?" And this was when the IRL was in 97 or 98. I said, "What do you think about these guys as drivers?" He said, "They ain't champions till they've been running on the dirt." And in the early days, the IndyCars did run on dirt.
Yeah.
Part of the series. Yeah. Well, listen, I wish you nothing but the best. I look forward to seeing you. Don't know where, at Indianapolis. If things fall together, will be the first place we'll see you. Want to wish you nothing but the best. And, give them hell tonight and this weekend for the race and simulator. And the people that are watching, if you want to see it, go to speed51.com and you can find it. All right. Thank you very much for taking the time. Tell your dad hello and tell him the next beer is on him.
Yep, I will. Thanks,
A
Don.
cold one, not something he found in the back of the car.
Extra cold.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Our guest has been R.C. Enerson of Newport Richey, Florida. He's just competed in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway race this past Saturday, and you'll see him again for the full 500-mile race upcoming. I want to mention a couple things that are upcoming also. Tuesday the 5th, which is tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo anniversary. On birthday on Wednesday the 6th, Pato O'Rourke has a birthday, and he was born all the way in 1999. Good grief. Friday the 8th is VE Day, the 75th anniversary. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, yes, here it is, ladies and germs. The 3-time Indy 500 winner has a birthday. Elio Castro-Neves. His birthday is Sunday the 10th. That's all from here. Until next time, we've got several guests lined up, so more program will be forthcoming. Until then, this is Don Kay saying thanks. Good night. See you next time.